Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Amateur Hour Sports Podcast. It's just going to be me on today's episode. I'm going to be talking about the FIFA World 11 and what I would have picked for the 2019 Best 11 over the year in the soccer world. So, I know that for FIFA, the video game, it's going to be coming out. I don't know when exactly it's coming out. I don't play the game this year, but for this season, I know that the World 11 is out. I'm just going to be giving you my picks. So just to get right into it, I feel like the goalkeeper position, I'll start there, is one that is a little bit difficult to pick because there were some very good candidates. I think that Ter Stegen and Alisson were the two strongest candidates for this. And I think even though Alisson had more success as a team and maybe in sort of the defensive record, I think that's mostly down to playing behind such a formidable defense. I think talent-wise, Ter Stegen displayed the most amount of I think the better showing as a goalkeeper throughout the course of 2019. And I think that he definitely should be Germany's number one. There is no way that he's inferior to Manuel Neuer. I know Manuel Neuer has been there, the staple there as the number one for so long, but for me, Ter Stegen should be the number one for Germany because I think that he was the number one in the world for 2019. There definitely is a case for Alisson. I can respect that argument because of the feats that he's pulled off in terms of clean sheets, but we didn't see that at the latter end of 2019 as we did at the start of 2019. And I think that, the defense with Van Dijk is so impressive that, you'll see in my picks how impressive I think that defense is. That helped Alisson a lot. For these kind of discussions, you have to be a little bit nitpicky and you have to be, very fine-tune your arguments. And unfortunately for Alisson, I just think that talent-wise, Ter Stegen reigns supreme. Moving in towards, I'll go with the fullbacks first of all. I have Alexander-Arnold and Robertson as my fullbacks in the World 11. The amount of assists, the sheer amount of assists these guys put up would make a number 10 proud because they put up midfielder statistics in terms of their assists. They put up winger statistics in terms of their assists. Some of the best set-piece delivery we've seen from Alexander-Arnold in world football, from corners. Just their ability to cross is almost unparalleled. I think it is unparalleled when you look at fullbacks. I think, in world football, the best crossers of the ball from fullback positions, you have to look at players like them. You could talk about Kieran Trippier, you could talk about Alexandro. There's probably some other names that I'm missing, but these kind of players are the premium for crossing from fullback. And I think Alexander-Arnold and Robertson are the best at going forward, and they are also quite good in defense as well. Me and Adam, who's been on the podcast before talking about soccer, kind of discussed the prospect of Alexander-Arnold maybe moving into a midfield role for England because of such a great talent pool at right back. And I think that he's talented enough on the ball to kind of do what Philipp Lahm did and go from playing as a fullback to being able to fill in as a midfielder and be very, very successful. But I don't think there's any dispute for these two fullbacks being in the team this season. The World 11. Marcelo is absolutely nowhere near the level of Robertson. And it pains me to talk about Liverpool players like this as a Man United fan, but that is truthfully how I feel. Moving to the center backs, there's no disputing that Virgil van Dijk is one of the center backs. He was second in Ballon d'Or voting, I think rightfully so. I didn't think he deserved it over Messi, but second is where he belonged, which is very impressive for a center back. Do not let that be understated, how impressive that is for a center back to achieve such a feat like that. And I don't really think there needs to be any other argument for Van Dijk. We know what Van Dijk's all about. We have to look at the other center back, which is very difficult to pick. He hasn't been as impressive in the latter half of 2019, but I think Sergio Ramos, from a sheer amount of talent, what this guy can do on the field, he can play in midfield, I think, as a holding midfielder. How good this guy is on the ball, how composed, such a great game manager he is, what a great leader he is. Because remember when Ajax took down Real Madrid in the Champions League, it was largely down to Sergio Ramos not being a part of the second leg because he was suspended. And obviously that was a bit of lack of game management in the first leg. But Sergio Ramos is the kind of player that you do not want to come up against. You do not want to play against a character like Sergio Ramos, but you love to have him in your team. And I think he is such a tremendously skilled player, especially for a center back, and he is an unbelievable defender, a great tackler. The ability to play as a fullback as well, like he did in the early stage of his career, is huge towards, showing what a great player he is on the ball. Moving into midfield, there was one easy selection for me in the midfield three, which is Frankie de Jong. He was given the UEFA Champions League midfielder of the season from last year because of how well Ajax did and him being a catalyst in that Ajax success. He was tremendous in Ajax, winning the Eredivisie, and I know that's from Ajax, but got his big move to Barcelona where he has been a staple in the midfield. Hugely impressive on the ball, fits right into the mold of the Barcelona philosophy. Just great at picking out a one-time pass. He's so skilled on the ball. He's very silky. Doesn't need to have goals in his game. He just kind of sits and hovers around in midfield, and he's hugely talented on the ball. I love his little skill where he can just run past the ball and then cut back with the outside of his right foot to kind of throw off incoming pressure. Absolute staple in this World 11 for me. The other two, like I said, a little more difficult to predict or a little more difficult to pick. But I need to go with at least one holding midfielder in my World 11, and I don't think there's anybody who comes close to N'Golo Kante for that position. There are other talented midfielders, but as a 6, I don't think there are many who can reach that level. I think you can look at guys like Casemiro, but I don't think he was anywhere near as impressive as N'Golo Kante was. Just basically, he's a serial winner because everywhere he goes, he makes his team so much better. You saw, winning the Europa League with Chelsea. I know that's the Europa League, but winning a Premier League with not only Chelsea, but with Leicester as well earlier on in his career. He's a World Cup winner. He has a chance to win a Euro in the upcoming Euros this year. Had a chance to win the Euros in 2016, but for the final, everywhere he goes, he makes his team so much better, and he's continuing to do so. I think he needs to be playing as a 6 wherever he goes, because I think he should be playing as a 6 at Chelsea, and if he goes anywhere, he needs to be playing as a 6, because that is his best position, and there is nobody who can do it like him in world football. The other center mid I'm going to put alongside Frankie de Jong is Kevin De Bruyne, and I'm just putting him in because there is no better midfielder in the world than Kevin De Bruyne, because the ability to pick a pass anywhere on the field, his vision, his first touch, the finishing aspect that he has, the shot that he has in him, some of the goals that you see this guy score, and the ability to do all of this with both feet, and not to only play as a 10, but to be able to adapt into the playing as an 8 alongside another midfielder and being able to track back and defend. He does everything, and when he has the ball, he can do anything with either feet. It is unbelievable the feats that you see Kevin De Bruyne pull off. Definitely, for me, the best midfielder in the world, and he has to be on this list. I know he had his injury problems, but pivotal in Man City, winning the league last season, and he's a big part of their success this season. Even though they aren't having as much success as normal, he is still the most talented player as a midfielder for me in the world. Moving into the front three, just get it out of the way. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo make up the right winger and the striker for me in my 4-3-3 formation. There's no need to talk about them. We know how good they are. They're the best at what they do. Lionel Messi is the best to ever play soccer, in my opinion. I could argue about that on another day, but right now I'm just staying to the point of the World 11. Cristiano Ronaldo, unbelievable as a striker, just the poaching ability that this guy has. Also good with the ball, can play as a winger. I don't need to talk about these guys. We know everything about these two. Two of the best to ever do it. The third player in the front three, I'm going to put on the left wing. I think Sadio Mane has done enough this year to be in the World 11. Another Liverpool player to add on to the growing list I have on here. But Sadio Mane has been so good for Liverpool this season and last season. Scored so many goals. He got the Golden Boot in the Premier League last season. Such a great player on the ball. So great at creating up top for other players as well. Scores some spectacular goals. He can get in behind and, finish on a breakaway, get in position and be a poacher. He has the ability to score with both feet, even though he's mostly right-footed. He does have that left foot capability when he gets in close to finish that some other players don't quite have. And I think that he has been very impressive. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was top 5 in Ballon d'Or voting. He might have been 4th, but I don't quite remember. Some people even tipped him to be the Ballon d'Or winner, but not for me. 4th place, I think, is where he belonged. But belongs in my World 11 because he was very impressive. He edges out Mbappe, is who I was considering to put in my front 3, but I think Sadio Mane instrumental in Liverpool winning the Champions League, and that is a big factor in this as well. Top scorer in the Premier League. I've said all the points I need to say. That is my World 11. Just to run through it again: Ter Stegen, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Ramos, Robertson, Kanté, De Jong, De Bruyne, Messi, Ronaldo, Mane. If you disagree, you can let me know in the comments. I will gladly have a discussion about it. I know that, picking 11 players, it's not going to be easy for everybody to agree on something like this, but this is how I feel. You can let me know on Twitter or Instagram at AmateurPDC. Comment on the YouTube video. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe. Follow on Spotify, and as usual, we post every single day, so keep coming back for that daily content. We'll see you again tomorrow.